I'm Lenka from Happy Heartsy, and this is my summer glow top. A light twist front summer design that's quick, beginner friendly, and perfect for everyone, pregnant or not. With the free pattern on my blog, you'll be able to customize it for fit any size. I'll guide you through each step so you can make your own summer glow top in no time. I hope you enjoy this pattern. Now let's get started. Alright guys, and for this pattern you need any cotton yarn. I use 24/7 from the Lion brand. I love all the colors, and this one is tangerine, so this is for the yarn. Then for the crochet hook, I use 4mm hook. And then you're gonna need just a couple of the stitch markers, then of course yarn needle for the to weave in the ends, and the scissors. Also, because this pattern is like a make to your specific size, then just don't forget to go to my blog post. The link is in the description, where I navigate you how to count your stitches for your body. So this video doesn't give you the information for the number of the stitches for your size, because it can be very different. And in my blog post on a free pattern, then you can find all the information, so it will fit perfectly for you. All right guys, so this is it, and now we can start to crochet. Alright guys, and before we start, I actually just want to show you, because I already finished my rectangle. This is what's gonna be around my chest, and this part is gonna be twisted. So also at the end, just leave a little longer tail that you will seam the sides together, because this will be in the front. But I'm skipping like too far ahead. I just wanted to show you how we start with the rectangle. I did my measurements, so this is basically what covers my what would cover my bra, and this is just for that, yeah, the first part. So this is the rectangle that we're gonna make, and this stitch is even more stitch. So I'm gonna show you right now how to crochet this stitch, or if you want like a better explanation, I also have a even more stitch tutorial just for this specific stitch. So feel free to again see the link in the description, where I lead you to my blog post, where you can see the full tutorial pack, so you can see the photo tutorial, also written pattern, and also full video tutorial for this stitch. But I think that this video should also cover it, so it's up to you what you prefer. So now let's start with the even more stitch that I'll show you right now, and then we're gonna make this rectangle out of that. Alright guys, and for the evenmost stitch, or especially for this project, we need to have odd number of the stitches. So that means that we're gonna start with the even number of the foundation chains. So no matter what your calculations end up, like how many stitches you should have for your size, always make sure that it's the even number, odd number of the stitches. So let's say if your calculation would say that it's 143 stitches, then for 144, then you have to adjust it to the either 143 or 145. And like I said, you always have to start with the even number foundation chains. So again, if let's say if you're gonna need 143 stitches, then you have to start with 144 foundation chains. So I hope it makes sense. So now let's just start with the slip knot, and now the foundation chain. So for this, just this stitch, the evenmost stitch, I'm gonna show you just on this little short version. So I have my 18 foundation chains. That means that I'm gonna get 17 stitches. So why, I'm gonna explain you right now, because the evenmost stitch, you alternate half double crochet and slip stitch. So we start with the half double crochet the first row, and we're gonna start into the second stitch, second chain from the hook, and we don't count the first skip chain as a stitch. It's only a turning chain, so that's why you will get an odd number of the stitches. So now just a few things before we start. So the loop on our hook doesn't count as a chain, but whatever is below. So this is the 1, 2, so this is the second chain. And also one more thing, more crocheters, they insert the hook or they start the stitches into those V's, and I rather do it in the back of it. So when you turn the foundation chain, you can see the bumps, and one bump is one chain. So this is where I rather insert the hook, because then the project is actually cleaner, and it makes it makes a little bit cleaner, little tiny detail, and I love it, because once we're gonna finish our twisted part around the chest, then it doesn't matter. It's gonna be more, it doesn't matter actually in what side you will start to make the bottom part, which I will explain when we get there. But then you will see nicely the V shapes, the stitches at the bottom, and it's just, it feels like a little cleaner. But you do whatever you prefer. It's not a mistake. It's just like I guess my own preparation, but you can give it a try if you'd like. So now let's finally start. So now even more stitch, like I mentioned, it's alternating half double crochet and slip stitch. Let's start the first row with the half double crochet. So we do yarn over, insert the hook into that second chain from the hook, yarn over, pull up the loop. We have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull up the loop through all 3. Now into the next chain, we're gonna make slip stitch. So we just insert the hook into the next chain, yarn over, pull up the loop, and with the same loop we pull through. So this is the slip stitch, and now let's keep alternating it. So now we do half double crochet, so we do yarn over, insert the hook into the next chain, yarn over, pull up the loop. We have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull up the loop through all 3. Now let's do the slip stitch. So into the next stitch or chain, we insert the hook, yarn over, pull up the loop, and with the same loop we pull through. So this is our even more stitch. And now because we're gonna get odd number of the stitches, that means that we start and end the row with the same stitch. So now it's gonna be completely, it's gonna be a little bit different. So basically our every odd number of the rows, so now this is the first one, we start with the half double crochet, and we also end the row with the half double crochet. And because even more stitch, you basically work the opposite stitches in the following row. So then you always start every even number of the rows, you will start with the slip stitch. So I'm almost there, so I'll show you what I mean. But now for the first row, which is odd number of the row, we start and end the row with the half double crochet. Also, one more thing, it's good to know when, let's say, you're interrupted in the middle of the work, middle of the row, and you don't know what stitch you need to make. It's pretty easy. So now you can see that I just made a slip stitch, and you can see that here are just the 2 loops. So now let's do that half double crochet, and now I can show you the difference. So now you can see 3 loops coming out from my loop on our hook, like the below. That means that I finished my half double crochet, and now it's time to make my slip stitch. So I hope that you also see the difference. I'll show you again how it looks when you're done with the slip stitch. So then this is a good indicator, like what stitch you should make next. And now actually I have also my last stitch, so that means that I'm gonna make my half double crochet into the last stitch. So this is exactly what I mentioned, that you start any like an odd number of the row with the half double crochet, and you should also end the row with the half double crochet. Now let's do chain 1 and turn the project. And now, like I mentioned, we are getting to the second row, which is even number of the row. And because we finished our first row with the half double crochet, And evenmost stitch is that you always have to make the opposite stitch from the previous row. We start with the slip stitch. So let's start with the slip stitch. Again, into that first stitch, because that chain 1 that we did is only a turning chain. And now the second stitch is the half double crochet. So now this is keep alternating it. So again, into that next stitch is the slip stitch, next stitch is the half double crochet, and we should end this row with the slip stitch as well. So if you don't end any row with the same stitches that you started, that means that you made a mistake on the way. So I would just recalculate the stitches if you have the same number, or there should be some mistake. So just forget and start over, or just that row, because if otherwise, until then, if you have all the stitches, like if you start with the same stitches, then it's not probably any mistake there. And then you also, actually, it's a good indicator too, when you like in the next rows, if you work the half double crochet, the stitch that you insert the hook is actually a little bit tighter, and it means it's a good indicator, because that means that from the previous row you did the slip stitch, because slip stitch is a little bit tighter stitch. So whenever you do half double crochet into the next stitch, you should feel it's a little bit tighter. So that's another thing to actually notice when you work this stitch. So it's that you know that you're on the right track. So now let me just finish this row, and I'm almost there. So again, I have my half double crochet now, and now it's my last stitch, and it's turn for the slip stitch. So again, it's on the right track. Now chain 1, and again, now we are heading to the third row. That means that we start and end the row with the half double crochet, fourth row with the slip stitches. And again, after every row, you will make chain 1. This is only a turning chain. So that way you will make your rectangle. And in the next part, I'll show you how to twist it, and we can start the bottom part. All right, guys, so this is the rectangle that I showed you at the beginning. So again, just a reminder, keep a little longer tail once you're done with your rectangle. So with this tail, you can actually make you can seam the front part, because we're gonna make it twisted. So if you know how to do the twisted headband, which is very popular for the winter, then that's perfect. You exactly know how it's done. And because this actually is also evenmost stitch is actually perfect, it's reversible, so it doesn't matter like what's wrong or right side. So now what we gonna do, we have to make the twisted part. So how we gonna do it? We're gonna fold those sides like in a beak, basically, bird beak, and we're gonna just fold them in half, and then we just gonna put them together. So we basically put this first half into that bottom right side, then you will just fold it over. This is the third layer, and now you will also fold the other part. So you have basically 4 layers here, when you can see it, 1 2 3 4, and this is your long tail, which you will seam all the parts here together, all those 4 layers, and then you will flip it, and then it's gonna be twisted. So again, I'll show you once again. So we're gonna put these sides like on half together, and then you will put the one half of the one side together, and then you will, like, because it's gonna basically like the V, so you will fold it over with that one side, and now you take this one into the other. So now you created the 4 layers, and now you will take your yarn needle, thread the needle, and with this tail, with this longer tail, you will seam it all together. So let me just thread the needle, and I'll show you how to do it. All right, so now I have my needle ready for the seaming, and now I have it like this, so 4 layers like next to each other. And now I will just go with the needle through the first one, second layer, third, and the fourth. So like this, and I'm just gonna whip it all around. So, or actually I will not like do the whip stitch, but I will just go to the next one from the bottom, and then I'll go from the bottom to top. So it's through the 1 layer, 2, 3, and the 4, and then I'll pull through. And now I'll just go from the top to the bottom. So this is how I seam my my twisted part, and this is what I do, for that whole part. And then I'll show you the magic. Once we are done, don't forget to weave in the ends right away. All right, so now I'm at the end, and I also have the tail. It depends how many rows you needed, but you might end up the tail on the other side from that seaming, so it would be easy, and we can do just once we end that seaming, we can just secure it maybe with like a triple knot, just like that. And now you can just weave in this tail. And then you will cut it, then you will weave in the other one. So now once you're done seaming, then you will just flip it, and you have this twisted part which is gonna be in the front. All right, guys, so now let's move to the other part. And like I mentioned at the beginning, that it doesn't matter where you're gonna start your bottom part, is the especially if you started your first row into the bumps, then this is what I mean. So now you can see nice, like at the V shapes, the stitches like at the bottom, so it makes it a little bit cleaner, a little bit stretchier, but yeah, it's still kind of looks a little bit better. And this is my top, this is where I end this is my finish. I mean, this is my last row of that rectangle that I made. So now you can see that also there are like stitches, they're a little bit like a loose than this part, but this is my beginning. So this is why I actually mentioned that it kind of doesn't matter now where you will start from what part. So now, because we made the twisted part, and now it's gonna be super easy, so you should have your even number of the stitches. And even though that we just did the twisted part, you should see your first stitches like right here at that seaming part. So we're gonna start, actually, because we have to start from the right to the left. We're gonna start this part in a mesh, like it calls crochet mesh stitch. So that's why we needed that even number of the stitches, because that's how it will actually nicely work. Even if, let's say, it wouldn't work out, you can always the first row like adjust it. So then we're gonna start from here, from the twisted part, and we're gonna finish the first row right here. So basically, and then we're gonna leave it open. So then we won't be working in the round, but in the rows. I hope it makes sense though. And now let's just start. I can always put the stitch marker just to my first stitches here. This is my first stitch here, and then at the twisted part, which is right here. So again, it's really in the back, but then it makes it actually nice, like a curtain, basically like a curtain style. So our belly will be kind of like hidden, but then it's gonna like open up. So I just put it right here. And now let's start the mesh stitch. All right, so now just grab your hook and insert the hook into that first stitch. I just took my stitch marker off, and then now you just take your yarn and then just pull through. Now I'm gonna just make like a chain one, but I will just tie it, so it's basically just the one that we joined the yarn to the project. And now we're gonna make another 3 chains, and those 3 chains, so first 2 chains, because this one we will be tying up. Those 2 first chains are counting, or it is count as a first double crochet of the row, and chain 1 is for the chain space. So now we're gonna be creating the chain spaces between the double crochet stitches. So what does that mean is that now we're gonna work our first double crochet into the second stitch. So we will skip the next one and we insert the hook into the following one. And how we do the double crochet is that we do yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over, pull up the loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull up the loop through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull up the loop through the first 2 loops again, or the last 2 loops. So this is our double crochet. Now we do chain 1. So then we create the chain space with this chain 1, because we will skip the next stitch and again insert the hook into the following one. So now we just make our double crochet into the next one, then chain 1, we will skip the next stitch and insert the hook into the next one. So this is what you will repeat for the entire all around. So let me do a little bit more so I can show you how it looks. So it looks so far like this, and you will go all around until you end up right here in this stitch. If, let's say, your double crochet, because you will end the row with the double crochet, if it end up for some reason like earlier, the stitch before, it's okay. This is so actually easy, the pattern, and very forgiving, so it doesn't have to end up right here. If yes, that's amazing. If not, it's absolutely okay. So you will end with the first row with the double crochet wherever it's right here, because it will be anyway, it's like twisted, so it's gonna be a little bit hidden, and like I mentioned, it's very forgiving, so it doesn't matter where it's gonna be your last double crochet. So this is just for the note, and once we are here, I'll show you how to do the second row, because then the second row will be the one that you will repeat for the entire project, like whatever long you want your top. So then it's gonna be actually up to you. So yeah, I feel that it's very easy and very fast summer project. So now let me just finish this. Again, you will have to make that chain 1 and then the double crochet into the second stitch, because you will skip the next one. Then you will create that chain space, and you will just continue that all around once we finish the first row, and I'll show you how to start the second one. All right, guys, so now I am at the end. So now it actually works out perfectly, because I have my stitch marker right here, and it's exactly how I will end my row. So I did already chain 1, I skipped this stitch, and into that last one I make my double crochet. So this is our first row, how it looks. So now you can see that this is our first row of the mesh stitch, and now at the end of the row you will just make chain 3 again, because again it will count as the double crochet and the chain 1 space, and now you will turn. So like I mentioned, we won't work in the round, but we will work like around, in the rows, not in the round. So now what we're gonna do for the mesh stitch, we're gonna start right away into that first first chain space, so we're gonna make our double crochet there. So we just insert the hook right into that chain one space, the first one, and make our double crochet. Then you do chain one, and then again, because basically you skip this double crochet, and again into that chain space you will make your double crochet. So don't forget to keep doing your the chain one between the double crochets, and make the double crochets into the chain spaces. So this is pretty easy, and this is the way how you will continue. This is a little bit like together, but it's all right. And then once you'll be right at the end of the row, which I will again show you, you will make your last double crochet right here. So into that chain space, into the last chain space, you will make your double crochet, last double crochet stitch, and again you will make chain 3, and into that first chain space you will make your double crochet, and so on. So let me just finish this row, and I'll be right back. All right, so now I'm at the second row, at the end of the second row, and now I have my last chain space. So this is my, you can see that this is the turning chains, or like it counts as a first double crochet and a third chain one space. So into that I'm just gonna make my the double crochet, then chain 3 again, that counts like a first double crochet, and then the chain 1. You will turn, and again you will make your first half double crochet right into the first chain space. So this is what you keep repeating until your desired length of the top, and then once you're done, when you're satisfied, then we're gonna start to making the straps. So let's just continue. I hope that you enjoy it so far, and yeah, let's meet up again once we're gonna do the final step. Alright guys, so I finished my bottom part of this summer top. So this is my length that when I did the fitting check, it actually fit nicely. So you can of course do it shorter, longer, this is up to you, the part, because it's perfect, because we were working from the top to the bottom. So this is for the open belly, so that's exactly how I want it. And now for the top part, now we have the last part in front of us, and it's the straps. And for the straps, I would highly recommend definitely do the fitting check. And as let's say if you have it on your bra, then you can see exactly where your straps coming out from your bra. So then you can actually put your stitch markers there on the back and in the front. And then we have to kind of even it out. So then we have to just count the stitches, how many stitches is all the way here, how many stitches is all the way there, so we could make it like a same stitches from the each side. And then also it applies like how many stitches is from the one stitch marker to the other one, and it should be the same number from this side to the other one, so it could be the same. But the strap will be a little bit, it's gonna be like at least maybe 1 or 2 inches wide, so it should cover your underwear. So don't worry about it. So now let me also adjust the stitch markers, because this is what I put just right after my fitting check. Now I have to just count the stitches that I have it all like even out. And yeah, then let's start the straps. Alright guys, so I already adjust my stitch markers, so I was like off a little bit, let's say about just couple stitches, so it wasn't that bad. So I hope it worked out for you too. And now we know where to start our strap and also where to end. And now the question is how long. So this is something that again you have to just measure, like when you do the fitting check, measure when you put it on, measure like how many inches it's from like the front to the back. And I would also suggest to make it a little bit shorter, maybe around 1 inch or 2 just because it will be a little bit stretchy, the strap, so I would make it a little bit shorter than your actual size for the space, like from the front to the back. So that's again something that you will have your unique unique number, but it's gonna be actually simple because we're gonna make it in the evenmost stitch and we're gonna be making it in the rows. So also I would suggest to make some notes aside on the paper so you would know how many rows you have on one side, so then you can make the exact rows on the other. And now let's take it, because it's gonna be a little bit wide, I would definitely do it, let's say, over 5 stitches. So let's make the stitch marker that is the middle stitch, and now let's start like the second stitch from the right. So you just insert the hook there, and now let's just put your yarn. So my hook is inserted into that second stitch from that stitch marker, and we're gonna be working over the 5 stitches, and it's the evenmost stitch, so it's gonna be pretty much the same exactly, because we get the odd number of the stitches even now for this little strip. So let's start. So what you're gonna do, you will just join your yarn and make the chain 1, which is only the chain that we will join the yarn with. And now we're gonna start with the half double crochet. So we just insert the hook into the same stitch and make our half double crochet. Into the next one we're gonna make our slip stitch, then half double crochet, slip stitch, and half double crochet. So this is how thick will be the strap, but of course if you'd like to have it thicker or smaller or like a thinner, that's totally okay. You can do it over like 3 stitches or 5 or 7, like it's definitely up to you. Again, at the end of the row you have to do the chain 1, flip the project, and now because we started the first row with the half double crochet and end with the half double crochet, now the second row we're gonna start with the slip stitch and then half double crochet, and we alternate those 2 stitches. It's exactly the same technique as we did the rectangle, so you basically have to do the opposite stitch from the previous row. So I also end this row with the slip stitch, so I just make it back, and now I start with my half double crochet because my last stitch from the previous row was the slip stitch. So that's what you continue until you reach the other stitch marker, and I'll show you how to join that strap with that. And also make sure that you put aside a note like how many rows you needed or you made for this one side of the strap, because then you will have to make the same number of the rows on the other one. So I hope it all makes sense, and then I'll meet you once I'm done with this. Alright guys, so I just went a little bit overhead and I finished just the one strap, but don't worry, I will still show you how to attach it. I just wanted to show you how it looks. So I did quite like let's say 2 fitting checks just to be sure that my strap is exactly how I want it to be, and this is exactly like perfect. So this is the one strap how it looks, and now I also had to make a note how many rows I made this one strap, so I have the same one here too. So now this is my finish, this is my last row of this strap, so I'm in the front. So now I just flip the top. Now you have to make sure that it's not twisted. So I have it actually on the other side now. And now for this, so now just make sure that it's not twisted, and then you will connect it from here, and you will do it the way that you will attach it to this stitch marker. It's basically where the stitch marker is, that it's like your first stitch, and then you will like you will seam the stitch the strap like to that direction. this one, my stitch marker was here, so I did this way, the other way. So I hope that makes sense. And now let's just put the seam, the strap together. So how I do it, I'll just pull out now for a little bit at the strap, and I have to turn it out again, so I can do it from the right to the left. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna put the hook back on my on the loop. I take this stitch marker off, or I can just keep it for now, and insert the hook into that stitch. I'll take this and then I'll just put around my hook and pull through. Now let's do it with the still same. So now I have still like 4 stitches. So now let's still do the first one. So into the first one I insert the hook, and then into the same stitch where the stitch marker is, and then yarn over, pull up the loop, and then I will just pull through. So I will basically make a single crochet, and you will insert the hook into the first stitch of the strap and the next stitch of the top, and that's how you seam it. So now I'm about to make my last stitch, so then I'll just insert the hook to the both and make the single crochet, and now I can just cut the yarn and then weave in the end. So this is still the front, but it makes like a little bit this strap, but it's absolutely alright. So let me just show you how it looks, the back. So this is the one that I did before, this is the one now. Just need your yarn needle and just go like through this and weave in the end, and your top is done. So definitely double check, do another fitting check, maybe even before you weave in the end, or even on the other one too. So just make sure that it fits right. If not, then you can you still have the chance to undo this and maybe replace it the strap so it will fit a little bit better. So let me just check the all the tails that I need to weave in, and then I'll show you the top like how it's whole. Alright guys, and here is the finished summer glow top. So we can see it very nicely, open for the belly, beautiful straps, and then the twisted top. So I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that it was easy to calculate your sizes so it can fit actually perfectly to your body. Feel free to share any feedback, comments, give it a like if you like, or share with your fellow crocheters or whoever maybe is also awaiting for expecting a baby, or even not, because this pattern can be really easily wore also when you're not pregnant. So it's definitely for like anyone. So again, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you had fun, and stay tuned for my next patterns or stitch tutorials. Happy crocheting!